Hey everybody, welcome to Sexy Soul Talk. This is video 2, special video, so I just decided to go live a little bit kind of last minute. Working on this lighting here, so hopefully it's a little better than last week. But I'm super excited. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I hope whoever is ready for this will stay watching. If you're not ready for this, sorry to see you go. But I'm gonna do it anyway because that's what I'm here for. So I've been starting off with these energy updates, which I think are super helpful when it comes to dealing with your sexual energy in general, or just yourself, period. But like I've been mentioning, there's a lot of retrogrades that were going on. Right now, there's about 4 still in effect. I am definitely not an expert here when it comes to astrology. I just like to give people the gist, so people are aware of why things may be happening or how to deal with them properly. So yeah, the big one that everyone is always super afraid of is the Mars retrograde. Okay, but I don't think there's anything to be afraid of when it comes to the Mars retrograde, as long as you approach it properly. So, when Mars retrograde happens, which it did happen, it started on June 26th, so it should be over around August 27th. Again, this is all speculation. The energy, there's no time and space, right? But when it does pop back around, like it has right now, it's typically showing you things that you have not, or you've been dealing with in the past, and you may or may have not gotten over it. Something you were meant to learn. You know what I mean? It could show up just to see, like, hey, you done with this yet, right? Or, you're not done with it, and then you're going to deal with it and hopefully learn your lesson this time around, because it just keeps happening, right? But this is a way I'm going to explain how to deal with Mars retrograde. So instead of going against it, you should go with it, Like there's a problem, oh, let's deal with it. Instead of, oh, fuck this problem again. I can't deal with it. And then what happens? Like, it's just gonna happen again. So, if you're ready to let go of the crap, then now is a perfect opportunity to do so. And it's also perfect opportunity to build and create new things, So you can use this energy to let go and start creating new things, okay? Instead of continuously repeating the things that you don't like in your life. You can start building a foundation. I'm not saying that everything's gonna go great right now. Like, it could possibly, but it's going to go the way you like it, but there's going to be certain things that will happen to help you get better at that creation that you're starting, that you're manifesting. So that's awesome. So you can get all of those kinks out now and learn from them and keep it moving. So that's all I really want to say about the Mars retrograde, because I know a lot of people are scared of it, but you should just go into it, like flow into it. Don't go uphill, flow downhill, and everything will be fine. It's all good. It's all for your better good. It's good. But the big juicy topic today is sexual energy secrets revealed. And this is a big thing. This is a thing that affects everyone. It is basically how the world runs. So it's a big deal. This is a huge big deal. Most of the things I'm about to speak about, many are not aware of. And I just want to spread some awareness here on what's really going on. Your sacred energy, as I've said before, is sacred. And most don't treat it that way because we're bombarded by a bunch of other crap that tells us otherwise. So, I just want to explain a little bit about what I'm talking about here. As far as Earth goes, I'll put it that way, it is one of the strongest forces here, okay? Especially regarding you, It is the vital force that runs you and helps you create all types of amazing things. So that said, I also wanted to talk about the chi. Most people that are into energy realize what their chi is. I believe that this is all very interconnected. Okay, it's all kind of like the same thing, you know, pretty much. So if you master your chi and sexual energy, you are like a totally unstoppable force. It is absolutely amazing. The things that you could do when you master that. A lot of people take time away, they go meditate. The monks can do it, you know, because that's all they're doing. They master it. It's a thing, you know, and you cannot be associating with all the fuckery of the real world because it's all bullshit. So the fact that they have to separate themselves from the world, I shouldn't even say the real world, the world we live in, to accomplish this says a lot, okay? So just, you know, food for thought. You need to be careful how you're using your sexual energy. A lot of times it's super exploited. Many times, almost most of the time, it is being super exploited for not your own benefit. Just to let you know, you know. There's a lot of things out there that are super content with us not being aware of this information. So I would like everyone that stays watching to be aware of what is really going on and how special your energy is and how powerful it is and what you can do with it to help you change your life, because you can absolutely change your life and create your own reality using your sexual energy. Pretty cool. So first I want to talk about the number 6. You know, super random, right? I was actually born on 6, so I like it. I think it's a happy number. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just what it's associated with, really. Okay. So 6, right? And the word sex is kind of like the same thing, isn't it? It's a little strange, right? No one ever really kind of caught that one. Yeah, well, on purpose. Certain people like to use the number 6 for certain various reasons. I won't get all into that today, really. People can look that up on their own, you know, if you're enticed to, your intuition takes you there, totally do it. But the number 6 is associated with earthly energy and sexual, you know, being worried about things of this, like material things. There you go. It's all about material things and pretty much instant gratification and all that jazz, all kind of jived into one. You know, again, I'm not a numerologist or anything, just want to give you all the gist of what's going on. So, and then I want to jump to the number 8, which is the infinity symbol, basically. And that's associated with universe and the infinite, right? We are all infinite. We should all be aware of that. And then how the number 6 and 8, 68, which is one of my favorite numbers. People that know me know that. I really didn't know why I liked it so much, apparently. But 68 is taking the energies of 6 and then the energies of 8 and putting them together for balance. Like the number 7 is in between. So the number 7 is complete balance when it comes to sexual energy. I'm speaking about right now, just specifically. And number 6 is totally not aware of the sacred side. See, the infinite is sacred, right? When you put them together, you have a balance, which is what I feel like we should all be striving for. Sexual, sacred balance, okay? So that you're not wompy and everything is flowing fine, okay? Because there's just a certain thing that I need to get to, how your energy is not, you're not using it towards your own benefit. It can be used towards someone else's benefit if you're not completely aware of what you're doing or what type of relationship you're in. It can be very unhealthy and eventually will end up draining you, you know, mentally, spiritually, sometimes physically. You will change. You will, you know, certain people might gain a lot of weight because they're in an unhealthy relationship that's unbalanced with their sexual energy. Some people lose a lot of weight. You know, it all depends on you Typically me, I would gain weight. I feel like the weight is a buffer between you, and it's a protective thing, you know, your little armor in that case, you know. So if you're in a relationship and you start gaining a lot of weight and you don't really understand what happened, it's because you're protecting yourself from something subconsciously that you're just not super aware of, but your higher self is super aware of what is going on. So it is protecting you. And it's also a drastic thing that you can see. So if you start seeing this, obviously, you can step back and say, what the hell is going on here? All right, all right. So just want to let everybody know about the number 6 and the number 8 and the number 68, which is super sacred, and it's a very special number when it comes to sacred sexuality. Something that's not really being pushed to the public, okay? What people are being pushed is the number 6. So it's all the very kind of just animalistic tendencies and, you know, fight or flight crap and whatever. But it all applies to that, where it's just animalistic things that has nothing to do with your higher consciousness. You see what I'm saying? Separating. It's a separation of what you truly are as a whole being. Okay? I'm not saying you can't have fun doing that. I'm just saying that it's really more fun to do the latter, and most people never really experience that. Okay? I'm gonna do a whole show on like this sacred sexuality and what the difference is separately, okay? Because I think it's a huge topic. I'm just going to go with the flow of what's going on here. I have a whole spiel for you guys. But the basic thing is to kind of be in the 68 realm where you're feeling that vibe, and you are kind of the number 7 where it's neutral. Do you see what I'm saying? Encompassing both together. All right, whatever works for you. Some people are going to resonate with the number 7. Some people might resonate with 68, like myself. You know, it's all good. I like them all. It is what it is. Numbers are the first language, if you think about it. So all this cockamamie balagna, all these languages around the world, yeah, that came later. You know, so learning the importance of what numbers are and what they mean is the key to learning your place in this universe, in this world, your reality, whatever. Will be super helpful for those that are interested in that. Okay, could do different shows on that too, but right now that's all that pertains. So let's talk about how people are completely always bombarding you with sexual manipulation since the day you were born. I mean, honestly, it's a little ridiculous. And it starts with the freaking Bible, where everybody's covering their private parts, making it all like, ooh, ah, like what? And making you feel ashamed of your body. Like, that starts way back. Anyone that's like, you know, Catholic or Jewish and grows up with that in their culture, it's a big thing. So it starts right there. And even if you're not part of, grew up in any way, shape, or form in those types of religions that deal with the, you know, Old Testament, it's just pretty much a thing that everybody knows, that it's kind of shameful to be exposed, making you feel ashamed of your own body for absolutely no reason. Like, we're all beautiful. You know, we were made this way. So why shun ourselves fully? You know what I mean? Totally struggle with that myself, because it is what it is. But slowly dissipating all that balagna, because it's not necessary. And people are also treated a certain way when they're exposing their body a little bit more. And they might not even be looking for anything, you know, and most of the time people aren't. But women are constantly being treated a certain way because they're showing off their body when they're proud or feel comfortable, and it's just whatever. Like, it's not a big deal. You know, people deserve to feel beautiful. And if wearing something beautiful makes you feel beautiful, then hey, like, what's the big deal? Why does all the rest of the world have a problem with it? It's a little ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous. Certain levels to everything, you know, whatever. But I'm just saying, it's not a big deal. It shouldn't affect the way people are treated because they're wearing something a little more snug or a little bit more revealing because they feel beautiful that day, or that's how they feel, and that's it. All right. Also, I'm not talking about trying too hard, ladies. Not necessary. But it is what it is, you know. Whatever makes you feel good is how you should approach things. You know what I mean? That's it. Simple. Super simple. Super simple. But again, with the sexuality being put on us through society since the day we were born, it's something that takes a big toll on the way we live our lives. Um, Men are typically, made fun of if they're still virgins at a certain age, which is absolutely ridiculous. Shout out to the 40-year-old virgin crew. Great, portrayal of that. But yeah, it's just not normal. But for females, it's a totally different thing, which doesn't make any sense. Like, in general, what's going on here? Okay? Like, they want you to just go out there and do all of that. Like, but why? There's no explanation why that's so normal. It's just a thing that you start accepting because you're bombarded with it everywhere. I mean, it comes from ads, TV, pictures, just even the way, generationally speaking, that everything has gotten a little bit more sexual. You know what I'm talking about. I am 35 years old, so I've seen it go from the 80s to now, where it's gotten a little kooky, where it's like, what the hell's going on? I mean, shows for teenagers are just like super sexual, and that was never around when I was growing up. You know what I mean? Not saying that teenagers are not sexual, but I'm saying that it wasn't a thing that was being promoted as normalcy, like a thing that it's acceptable for them to be. I don't know. It's a little strange. Parents, wake up. What do you got your kids watching? I don't understand, Damn, it's too much. Parental guidance on the TV nowadays is a totally different thing than when I was growing up. I gotta say. And I didn't really have much, whatever, parental supervision with the TV. It was just, it was what it was. I don't think that was a major key into it's a little bit of the conditioning, but I don't think it's a make or break, because of the way that I process things. I think I just take things in and I'm like, what the hell? Doesn't necessarily mean that I need to be that way, but I like to observe everything and watch. It's kind of like everything's a movie, whether it's on TV or not. You know what I mean? Always been that way. Super entertaining. Life is pretty entertaining. I grew up on Disney. I watched a lot of Disney. I mean, I like music, you know what I mean? And who doesn't like cartoons? I appreciate them maybe more than most people. I like to draw and stuff like that. I was always drawing growing up. So cartoons with music was kind of like oh my goodness, like how could you resist? Of course. Not just me, everyone, right? Most people. Some people grow out of cartoons. I still love cartoons. And animated movies that are made well, they're awesome. But there's just certain things that I've learned in the past couple of years that have made me look at the things that they show us as children to be really not for our own good. No matter how good the story is, you know what I mean? Like Lion King will be my main example here, because there's so much information regarding this topic alone. I will not go into that. I love anime as well. Some of them are a little kooky out there. I mean, depending on the storyline you like, right? But they're super amazing. I love how people create these things and make it happen. It's a beautiful thing. It takes a lot of work. It's something that I'm not really into, that I really don't know how to do it. I mean, I know of how to do it. I've never done it myself. So I have a lot of respect for the people that create cartoons and CGI and everything else. It's super awesome. So yes, so Disney and The Lion King, which was one of my favorites. Yeah, but apparently there's a scene where there are these leaves blowing in the wind, right? And then it spells sex, like if you slow it down and stop it, which is kind of weird, right? Like, why would you put something like that in a children's film when they're children? Like, but what's the point of that even being there? And tons of people have seen this. Like, you can do it yourself if you have the equipment to slow things down on your computer or whatever, because it's not really that difficult. But yeah, it's in there. And there's tons of other subliminal messages that have been put into many Disney movies that are super sexual for absolutely no reason. Like, it's just preconditioning children to be okay with being super sexual as they get older, which is strange, because like, why do you care? Why would you care? What's the big deal? Well, people, I'm gonna tell you what the big deal is. So, secret's about to be out there. But yes, your sexual energy, it's the most powerful thing on the planet, okay? It can fuel certain things. Like, certain people are very aware of this, like people in high places. Probably people you look up to, I don't know. But there's a way that that is being exploited and used to their benefit and not yours. Do you understand? Because the more sexual energy as you grow, when you grow older, I'm sure that's not happening while you're watching the Disney movies or whatever. But as you grow older, you're going to it's just not, it's a thing you're not going to think about, where you think it's okay to have sex, even if you're in a committed relationship, and it's like, sex is the main, I know sex is important, right? To have that connection with someone that you want to be with, absolutely. But it's a thing where it's like, oh, you're supposed to have sex all the time, and everyone's like, oh, you get married, you don't have sex anymore, and it's like a bad thing, like, you know, I don't know, whatever. I mean, it's bad to not have it ever and not connect with your partner, right? Whatever, that's not good. But I'm saying balance, right? The whole balance thing, you're not meant to always have sex every single day at multiple times. And I'm not saying if it happens, people, it's fine. Have a good time. But just for you to be aware of how you're having sex with someone and why and how often, and like, is it a healthy exchange? See, you know, some people like to have sex with others and they're very selfish. So that's an unhealthy sexual exchange, okay? Where you could be very giving and everything else, and you might never, some people never, you know, reciprocate, and you're left feeling like, what's going on here, right? If that's the type of relationship that you're in, no bueno. Absolutely no bueno. You gotta snap out of it, please, because you're being used. See, you're kind of fueling them, and they're leaving you hanging, you know, hanging. There are other ways people can leave you hanging that has nothing to do with sexual energy, but this is a big one, okay? I'm sure someone, you know, you've dealt with it maybe at least once, okay, where it's like not an even exchange, and then if it doesn't change, I'm not saying every time, I'm saying in the long run scheme of things, there should be an even exchange so that it's like a cycle. See what I'm saying? And it keeps recycling itself, and it's never depleting. Now, you can never lose your energy. Energy is never lost. It is transferred, okay? You are in control of how you transfer your energy. Like, we like to blame people for other things, for things that happen to us and all this crap. It doesn't matter how bad it is. It doesn't matter how bad that person was. You are in control of your energy exchange. And this is something that I've been working on more, okay? Because people can't piss you off. They can't make you mad. A person can't come here, oh, you pissed me off so much. Come on. Like, they're mad, that's fine. They can disrespect you and, you know, do what they're doing, and like that might upset you, maybe, you know? But it doesn't have to. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to upset you. Like, they don't have to piss you off. You're kind of getting pissed off of something that they're saying that bothers you for another reason. Okay? I know this might be a little off topic, but this is super important. I kind of want to do a whole show on this about reflection. When somebody makes you mad or pisses you off or makes you happy or whatever it is, how the feeling that you're getting off of someone else, you think it's them, it's really something about you. So it's food for thought. That's a big one. Life changes after you can really accept that and harness it and move on, like, and look at all the situations as to like, okay, you don't react. You don't have to react. You have to be aware of what you're feeling, and then, you know, reflect on yourself to see what's really going on here and why does that upset me, like, you know. And typically it's probably something that you do or did or have done or in some shape, way, or form. It doesn't have to be, it's typically not always the same thing. That's what makes it really tricky, while you're like, oh, I don't do that, that's why that pissed me off, like, da-da-da. But no, there's something about you that is connected to that, and you don't like it. And so that's there for you to see that you don't want to keep doing that. Because if somebody else is doing it to you and you don't like it and you do it, then you should stop doing it too. See what I'm saying? It's a big, like, that's a big one. I'm sorry. It needs a whole show. So a little sidetracked on that. But, yeah, so you know, let's go to this one. Let's just, because the next topic I have written down here, it's a little too much. We got to flow into this. But, so, sexual energy exchange. Okay. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this real quick. Um, when you have sex, you're kind of releasing it, right? But you can also use it to contain it and let it flow outwards the other way. So like let's think, I know it's a little weird. I'm gonna go there, but like if you're going to have an orgasm, what typically happens? Okay, we all know that, right? So like for females and males, there's both. It's a little different of what happens there, but it's typically the same thing in the long run. Okay. um, where it's being released, okay? Your energy is being released or you're keeping it in, okay? Typically, men are releasing more, right? And the female is taking it in. Most females are not aware of that, okay? I'm a person that's super sensitive and I didn't really understand all that. I just thought that that was just kind of what happens. I don't think most people really, I don't know. I guess for females it's different. I would like to have a show where I bring some females on to kind of like talk about that one day. Different perspectives from the female side, because I feel it. I feel it a lot. Just even if you're exchanging energy with a person, speaking to them, and having a very deep conversation, there's an energy exchange there as well, And I kind of can I feel, and it goes in how they're feeling. Sometimes I feel what people are feeling. You know what I'm saying? So imagine if you're in that state. I feel like everything's a little more heightened when you're in a, that state of mind, and when you're, whatever, with somebody, sharing your sexual energy, and it's super heightened, and it can be completely cosmic. Okay, like when you get to a certain place that you let that, you're not worried about anything here, and it's out there. It's pretty crazy. So knowing that, okay, like sharing your sexual energy with certain people is not a good idea, because you're not completely aware of exactly what you're exchanging. Like, we all have auric fields, okay, that can be penetrated and manipulated and broken, okay, and then you can be manipulated by others easier, okay, which is not cool, okay? So there's a lot of sexual manipulation going on between people, not just the other thing I was talking about, like society and media and all that nonsense. That jazz is too much, okay? But I want you to realize what it is. It's because you're using your energy towards something else when you're just having sex, just to have sex. And like, that's it. It's just you're you're letting it go elsewhere when you can be focusing it towards yourself. A lot of people will feel drained and depleted because of that, especially if you're a sensitive person energetically, and you won't understand why that's happening to you. You could eat all your meals of the day that you're used to, that you should be drinking plenty of water, and you're still gonna feel like, what's going on here? Right, because it's not even exchange. You need an even exchange in your relationship that goes sexually as well as everything else that's going on there. Okay? Because that, it will be the end of you. And you will lose yourself, if you know what I'm saying. Energetically speaking, for the ones that are a little more grounded and stronger, and just with their energy, it may take a longer time, but over time, everything will take a toll if you don't make a change. So it's super important for people to know that. You absorb each other's energies when you're sharing yourselves that way, okay? Not only are you sharing each other's energies, you're also going to be sharing the energies of whoever that person has been with almost ever. Like, to an extent, there is like an information exchange that happens subconsciously, etherically, that nobody talks about. Like, nobody talks about. I'm sorry. I feel like this is something that I never really, looked up or anything, but I do feel like there's a thing that happens if you truly connect with someone that way after the fact. you kind of know each other differently, no? I mean, forget the fact that you're completely naked and that stuff. No, it's more like if you let go and really connected with them and, on a sacred level is what it is, then you know that person totally differently. Like without words. There is an information exchange. And a lot of people don't talk about that. So you don't want to exchange your information with people that don't have your highest good, you know, on their mind. Some people just don't care. I mean, ladies, men, you all know there's certain people that just don't. They're not looking to get to know you or anything else, and they're just looking to do that. And sometimes they trick you into all that crap because, yeah, you're not that type of person, maybe, you know what I mean? So, like, that's super invasive. It's super disrespectful. I feel like it's one of the biggest forms of disrespect that you can show someone else, honestly. I'd rather you just treat me like a piece of shit and curse me out than lie to me about something just so for that to happen. That's awful. Like, seriously? I don't know about you guys. But anyway, another thing, the reason why if you exchange sexual energy with someone else, you're basically sleeping with everyone they've slept with, because we create cords with other people when we exchange sexual energy, and most people are not aware of that, so they don't ever cut their cords. There is a way to cut cords with individuals that you would like to let go of, that may not be that you wouldn't want to share your energy with anymore. You don't have to see them every day. This is something that is not visible but is, okay? And for all of those that don't believe me, that's fine. It is what it is. I do Reiki. I'm a Reiki practitioner, therapist, whatever you want to call it. I'm super capable of cutting cords for me and others. If anyone's interested in that, just putting it out there. Or you can look up someone that can do that in your local area if you're more comfortable going to see someone in person. Sometimes that helps for the people that are just getting started into the whole, energy business and learning about Reiki and your chi and the sexual energy that I'm speaking to about now, which is, whether you believe it or not, it is what it is. So I believe that people should be cutting their cords often, because sometimes it may take more than once to do it, just depending on the connection that you had with that individual, and how long you were in exchange with them, or how you feel about them can make a big difference. Your whole being needs to be in accordance with what you're doing in order for it to work. Skeptics, it doesn't work for you. And so, the longer you stay skeptical about it, it will never work for you. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? That goes for any energy practice. Any energy practice will not work if you don't believe in it. Because you're blocking. You're making a block. It's always available to you. Most people are blocking it because they don't believe, or maybe other things are going on. That there's a lot of other things that could block you. So we could talk about that another time. The next thing I wanted to speak about is how you can forget letting that energy be let go and not being used for anything that you might want to use it for, okay? And forget just, the whole, people do this for just pleasure. It's more about love. You know what I mean? And most guys don't want to hear this right now if you're watching, but there's a difference between having sex and making love. And I think that because people call it making love, that it's become this thing that got thrown in a box just for those special times when you're with a person that you're absolutely head over heels for. But I think it's something that should be practiced a little bit more often, because it's just a label, but it is what it is, because that's sacred sexuality, okay? That's how you exchange your energy properly, okay? I'm not saying you can't do whatever it is that you like to do or whatever, but Typically, people start doing more crazy sexual things because they have been kind of depleting their sexual energy slowly and slowly and slowly, and now they need something else to, like, they believe they need something else, because I'm kind of not in accordance with this. I watched a video earlier just to kind of see someone else's perspective on things. And I agreed with most of the things that they said. It was actually a great video, so I will post the link to it below when I'm finished. But yeah, so he said that the more sex you have, like, the less the more you're looking for other ways to feel the same pleasure or whatever, and that's why people do all types of crazy things and do like threesomes and they go to dominatrixes and blah blah blah. I never had to say that in plural. Or whatever you're doing, I don't know. But I don't believe that that's the case, see, because you have access to your chi and you can build it up, and it's infinite. So I don't understand that. Like, I understand the meaning, like, if you're not recharging yourself, yes, you're gonna maybe start doing things you usually wouldn't do or something, okay? I guess this goes back to what people say about drugs, you know, you get one high, then you're like chasing the bigger high, because that doesn't do it for you anymore. It's basically, sex is like a drug, okay? Sex, that low vibrating energy of sexual activity is really what it is. It's low vibrating, okay? And then there's no room when you're vibrating that low to actually experience sacred sexuality, which is what it truly is, okay? Sexual energy has become perverted for some reason, okay? Because, you know, it's easier to have you use your sexual energy that way, because then you're not using it to better your life, and you can do it really quickly if you're aware of what's going on here, okay? You can use your sexual energy to do other things. You don't have to have sex. So, you know, abstinent for a while back, and I was able to understand this better because I was just doing that. It wasn't something that I planned to do, okay? But it's something that happened in my life that was absolutely necessary. I went into hermit mode. I wasn't doing really much. I was learning a lot of things, which is when I started learning about all this stuff, you know, doing self-improvement for what I was doing at the time, a lot of marketing and this and that, but it turned into something else. So once you start looking into self-improvement, many people will come across other information that's super vital, like this, okay, among other things. So I'm a very sexual person. I'm super aware of that energy that I have. It's not something I always was super aware of, okay? But it is what it is, okay? You can walk into a room, like, you know, like, there's certain females, men, right? They walk into the room and they fucking command the room. It's like, oh, like, she's arrived. And it's like, what's going on here? Men can do the same thing if they're super just aligned with that, okay? Being aligned and balanced is a really big thing about that. It's not something like somebody walks into the room and they're screaming, so you have to look at them. That's a person that's super not aligned, unless, you know, you're shouting out to your friend or something, whatever. I'm not talking about that. A person that needs to do something to command attention is not aligned. You get attention when you're aligned. Same thing like last week's show. You know, being your authentic self typically will have you aligned, okay? And your sexual energy, your chi, will be flowing properly, and so you are magnetic, okay? It's the whole magnetism thing. But being aware of your sexual energy there can help you out a lot, okay? You can create things that you didn't think were possible, all right? The art of manifesting is absolutely real. You can manifest whatever you want, you know? Most people are manifesting things they don't want, but you are in control of that. I know some people don't want to hear what I'm saying right now because it's kind of hard to take in, you know, but you can't look at it the way that you're thinking about it right now, okay? Because we all, like, when you're first aware of it, you're kind of like, no way, like, why would I do this and why would I do that when it was awful? It's so awful. It was terrible. And yeah, it was to show you that you don't like that and that you don't need that and to do something else and to change something. You know, you are totally in control of that. And you can't see sometimes what you really, really like and want until you see what you really don't like and want. Okay? So, the problem people have is that they like to complain. Complaining is the worst thing you could do ever. We all go into the habit of doing that. I've done it myself. I do my best now to be completely aware of that because you tend to start doing it because other people are doing it. When you stop doing it, oh my goodness. When you stop doing it, your whole life changes and you're so aware of how many other people are doing it. Just complaining, okay? Or speaking of others, like the whole gossip thing, it's just not good. It's just not good. It's not good for you. It kind of, you know, takes away of you being grounded and being worried about yourself, not in a selfish manner. Because when you're worrying about yourself, you're not worried about what other people are doing and you won't gossip. Okay, there's plenty of things you, I'm sure, want to do and have to do or don't have to do, but things you want to do and things that you want to work on and, you know, just do that. Don't worry about what other people are doing because you're taking your energy and it's going that way. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you're not using it for yourself when you can create something amazing, something that you may have been waiting to do. Like, just do it. That's it. Yeah, it's a big thing when people are not aware how much of your energy you are giving to others in an unhealthy fashion. Okay, I don't say not to do things for others and not to be, you know, worried about your friend, not worried, but concerned. See what I'm saying? Like more concerned. If you can offer your help in some fashion, that's fine. But to just send it that way for absolutely no reason when you speak of others, that's going that way. So don't do it. Super sidetracked a little bit. Well, not too much. All right, so manifesting with your sexual energy. All right, everybody gets horny, right? Okay, whatever. But, so what's the first thing you think about when you get horny? Okay, is like, oh, I want to have sex, or oh, some people are going to go masturbate, or oh, some people are going to go look at porn. Oh boy. Everybody has done it. It is so bad, okay? If you want to masturbate, you should go do that. You don't need porn to masturbate. Porn is like the complete opposite of where sacred sexual energy is, okay? It's completely distorted. All right, it's too much crap. There's a lot of crazy energy exchange that goes on there that is probably something you don't want to take on. All right. I'm getting a little out there, but yeah, it's just things you don't want to take on. You can look into that a little further. I don't want to get too crazy. I'm doing my best not to go too deep down the rabbit hole for most of my viewers here because I feel like if you want to know more about something, you're going to go look it up because that's how I am. So, you know, it is what it is. But porn is not a good sexual exchange energy. You are still exchanging energy with the damn screen. All right. You're exchanging energy with me right now. I'm exchanging energy with you. I'm hoping this is all, you know, beneficial. Like I'm doing this so that I can help others. I want others to, you know, take something beneficial from this thing. It's not just for me. Sometimes I don't feel like getting ready and doing all this stuff, but I feel like I'm meant to do it, you know, to get this point across and hopefully reach someone. If one person gets it, it's so worth it. The whole thing was worth it, you know? So thanks for all you people out there. And quick stop. If you like the videos, you can subscribe. One thing with YouTube, you got to click on the bell to get a notification when the next video goes up. So videos every Saturday, and there'll be little snippets in between once I get everything rolling with the edit and stuff. So watch out for that. So now, yeah, how you can use your sexual energy to manifest things in your life. All right. There's a lot of fuckery when it comes to this, that I want to kind of just drop it real quick and then move on. But there's a lot of messed up things when it comes to people using others' energy, and people do a lot of things that people wouldn't even think would happen. It's worse than a horror movie, all right? Because that's how powerful your sexual energy is. Um, More so as a child, which you wouldn't even think, because, like I said, you're super, super pure when you're here and not completely conditioned to be thinking and doing other things that are not your true self, okay? They're total crazy beams of light, little sunshines running around. And some people do awful things to exploit that. So, putting that out there. They're doing the same thing to adults. It's just in a different fashion, okay? Because adults do what they do. You're of age and you can do whatever you want most of the time. So it's on you basically, and you're letting it happen. Free will is a thing. Whether you're manipulated to do it or not, you eventually either say yes or no, but you may be saying it for the wrong reasons because you were manipulated to do so and you didn't even have a clue about that. So you have to be aware of that. It's super, super important, okay? You get horny. Back to that. So you get horny, you want to have sex? You don't have to have sex. I mean, think about it. If you were to meditate, all right, meditating is great. If you want to start using your sexual energy to manifest things in your life and your chi in general, like to me, it's all the same thing. So you can meditate. Number one rule, you start breathing. Honestly, you don't, meditating sounds really crazy to people, most people that are not doing it. It's really hard to start doing it for most. The idea of sitting around doing nothing and being like totally in the now and no thoughts and nothing else is super weird to us because we are constantly bombarded by something all the time. Your phone, the TV, your fucking friends, random thought patterns. Okay, that's another big thing. Like, you should always trust your feelings and not your thoughts. All right, you could think you like somebody, but your body might go and tell you something else, okay? And you're constantly going like, yeah, 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 I like him, I like him, I like him, I like him, and then you think but no, like, and that goes for anything. Super overthought things are never good, all right? So don't overthink anything. If you get a thought you don't like, you know what you do with it, make it go that way, all right? That's it. Like, it doesn't have to be real, all right? Your thoughts are how you can manifest your reality. So if you're thinking fucked up shit all the time, that's what you're gonna get, all right? Even though it's not a tangible thing, it has energy to it, all right? Um, so with your thoughts, all right, that you're conscious of what you're thinking and you're thinking something on purpose, all right, right? And you're feeling when you're feeling that sexual energy start, okay, it typically starts at the root, right, where your genitals are, right? If you ever think about it, we have 7 main chakras, whatever. There's a ton of chakras, probably more than 30, 40. I don't even know everything about that yet. It's too much to learn at one time. But yeah, the 7 main ones that you'll see often, if you're gonna go look it up, you'll see the 7 main ones, which, so I'll stick to that right now, for the purposes of explaining. And that's your root chakra, which is basically kind of like the number 6 is down there, okay? Like, so if you're only thinking, like people say they think with their womp, like that's what that means, and it literally means that, all right? You're vibrating down here, number 6, all right? But if you take that feeling and the energy that you're creating there, when you're aware of it, right? Because everyone's aware of when they feel that way. You take that and don't do what you normally would do, and you can transmute it and have it connect with your other chakras up here, which these chakras up here, okay, like your crown chakra right there, all right, and your third eye right here, it's super important. Some people call it the brow, whatever. as well as your heart. Like, so these guys up here, like that's where the sacred energy comes from. All right, you're thinking and feeling with your heart space, which most people are not. They have it blocked. Okay, it happens. Things do that to us. All right, but that's not the way you're meant to be. You're not meant to be blocked up. All right, everything's supposed to be flowing like woohoo. All right, and then you're good. You're a totally different person when you're super aligned and everything is flowing. You take the energy that you get from down there and you connect it and transmute it with the energy you have up here, and that is how you manifest things. Now, let me just get out of that technical stuff because to put it into practice on a normal daily basis. All right, for people that are not in a relationship, this will be a little bit easier if you're not having a sexual relationship with anyone. You know, whenever you feel that way, you can take that energy and use it to do whatever you want. And when you do things in that energy, they will manifest at a higher rate and you will see results. Okay? It is the energy of creation, all right? Everything comes from that. It is how everything was created. If you think of it that way, like, why not use it to create your life or whatever it is that you're looking for right now? You don't have to use it to let it go and be released and go wherever it's going and not being used for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's another little facts that I learned today that I actually was not aware of. But when you're releasing for men, when you have an orgasm, you're releasing, the more semen you release, the more vitamins you're letting go. And apparently, you're losing slight bits of consciousness for the time being. So it's kind of like, oh, I know all this stuff and feel this way, and then you're doing that too much, and then you're kind of like, what happened? And you're not really in tune with what you're doing. This goes for people that are aware of their consciousness and how they see things and how they see the world. If you start seeing the world different and you start having more sex for some reason, and then you may start not feeling that. Super connected to the whole earth. We are all connected, okay? Super connected to the earth. And when you're not in tune with yourself, you're losing certain level of your consciousness, which is not good for you. You're not going to make the right decisions because you're not using your intuition to do that, because it's not, you're not connected, you're not getting it, you're not receiving, and it's just not good. You're blocked. You're blocking yourself in a sort of fashion. I don't know the whole to do all scientific because most people won't believe me, but I can do that. You know, one day I'll get to the science part of things because that'll turn most people that are super scientific. There is proof of everything I'm saying. Everything I'm saying, there's proof of. But for females, you're more taking things in. So like, you know, you're kind of releasing a little bit and letting that energy go because of whatever a little bit. But like again, the exchange, you take in more of what a male would. Okay, and you need to be super aware of that. So if you're sleeping with someone that has a lot of issues, you know, and whatever else is going on there, you're taking that in like fully. It's just happens and you don't get it, and then you wonder why after a while you might feel a certain way, and it's not you, like it's something you took on and are not aware of. And there's all types of crazy things you could take on that are not good for you and don't have your best good at heart. So I just want people to be protected in a different fashion. They're always shoving condoms in your face and, oh, take a blue pill. But they don't tell you about this, right? Where it could literally kill you, maybe. I feel like, yeah, all disease, all health issues are all caused from energy blocks. And that's that. It's not anything the fuck else. I don't care what they're telling you. So when it comes to this, I'm telling you, please look into how to become more aligned and how to ground yourself. There are certain stones you can use and crystals that I'm going to get into before we finish here. Because this was a doozy. And I really didn't get to go into everything like I wanted to because I feel like it might be too much. But the big thing is, guys, just be aware of who you're exchanging sexual energy with, because even if you stop having sex with them, you're still pretty much connected to them. And sometimes, people wonder, why can't I stop thinking about this person? Or, you know, they're always on my mind and this and that. And like, you don't even like them though. They could be a horrible person for you. Like, not saying people are horrible like that, but I'm saying for you right now, whatever. And that's why, because you're connected to them through an etheric cord, which exists. The umbilical cord is kind of like a great example of that, because you are connected to your mother still after they cut the umbilical cord, right? It's just a good way of visually explaining that, all right? So that happens without you even knowing and seeing it, all right? Quantum physics, guys, that's another one. For the people that are a little more scientifically inclined, that's a good way to start looking stuff up when it comes to the ether and things like that. But just being super aware, you don't have to have sex all the time, and probably if you do it in a moderation, you will change your whole life, because it'll be more special. You'll be able to connect more to the sacred sexual part of it, which is how it is meant to be. And your life will change. Like, after you experience that, you're kind of, I feel like some people take it for like, they're not looking at it the same way, as far as probably more for men, because females are more sensitive and lovey-dovey and everything else. Men are shunned upon to be that way most of the time, especially just all the time. Like, once they find someone, then it's, acceptable to be that way. Life's not fun that way, okay? And it's just not. It's just not. Like, you're totally missing out. You're totally missing out. It's not it's not what they're telling you. It's totally not. There'll be a whole show on that. The difference between and what is what it is, because yeah, that's too much for one show. Start fresh. Start your foundation now. I think it's super important. And I have a few things here. So, when you want to create things, a lot of people are looking to create abundance and prosperity. All right. So, I feel like right now with this retrograde, citrine is a great crystal if you guys want to see a little better. This one's from Uruguay. This is real citrine, natural, sorry. Natural citrine is a little darker. It's formed from amethyst. Most people don't know that. So the longer the heat is on it, it will turn this color. And that's how you could tell that it's a natural heated citrine, because it's darker. So it went from purple to this really cool, like, coppery tan, brownish looking thing. So I love this thing. This is a piece of citrine that I got before I knew that. So this was heated in a lab. Still, color energy, it still has the same thing. I just really wanted to get a piece that was heated naturally. That's just me. But this works too. You can even, I have a bracelet that I use, so you can make jewelry, get a little pendant. These are little citrine nuggets. I'm pretty sure these were lab treated as well. They're a little too yellow, but they're pretty. I mean, it's still a quartz, guys. It's still a quartz, so don't think about that too much. I also wanted to talk about this orange tourmaline. I love tourmaline. It comes in a lot of different colors. The most popular one is black. But orange tourmaline is really good to clear off bad sexual connections and energy in yourself. So good for your sacral chakra, which is right on your belly, your lower belly. And it can help clear any, sexual residue that you're not wanting to hold on to anymore that's not good for you. And you will feel so much better, trust me. You don't need connections to people that you don't want to be connected to anymore, and that's that, you know. Another one I like a lot, we have pyrite. Okay, so pyrite is really good at defending and protecting you and your aura. All right. So the fact that when you're exchanging sexual energy, you're in each other's auric fields. If you're not totally in balance, things can penetrate you and then stick to you, and it's like crazy. So you don't want any of that gook or any of that crap around you. Like, you want to be light and shine bright. Pyrite is really great. You can make little bracelets. You can get a pendant. It's super inexpensive and it's really pretty. Typically known as fool's gold, not foolish whatsoever. It helps keep you a little grounded too, and the protecting of your auric field. It also boosts confidence slightly, you know, like kind of helping you stay all in tune and whole, which is good. So I believe using these together, regarding this topic, and if you're looking to manifest things right now, I think it's a great combination for anyone looking to just cut cords and do all that good stuff. You don't need Reiki to cut cords. I just want to get into that one. If somebody's interested in getting cords cut, you can use Reiki. You can use pranic healing. All right. And you can just kind of do it on your own. If you're not, you know, if you're skeptical, it won't work, like I said. But all of this stuff, it's just techniques to help a person connect and be able to be in that vibe of receiving. Do you understand what I'm saying? So whether it's Reiki or pranic healing or Tai Chi, whatever people are doing, like regarding energy, the energy is always there. It is always available to you. And you don't have to, it's not that complicated. It's just that if you're thinking it is, then it will be. And that's really the difference. So I hope you guys got something out of this video. I feel like I wanted to go a little deeper, but it's a little out there. There's a lot of stuff. I'm gonna start another video channel, but it won't be videos won't be done that often. Just kind of when I feel like a crazy topic that I'd like to share with the world will be explained there, because it'll be a different audience. I'm sure people that are, it's a little more niche. So I'll let people know about that when I start those. But this was fun. I hope you all have a happy, sexy Saturday, and enjoy your weekend. Till next time.